Today I am back at Rolls-Royce and Bentley of Paramus doing another Versus video. This time we're going to go over the Rolls-Royce Ghost and the Bentley Flying Spur to check out some of the differences between these two luxury super sedans, as well as who they are meant for and which one I would take. So starting off, we've got the 2024 Rolls-Royce Ghost with a base price of $325,000. This one here is well pointed out to $411,850. The first thing we're going to see here is the color Tempest Gray. This is actually included non-upcharge. They've also opted to remove the coach line from this vehicle, so that's the stripe that runs down the whole body, and they're not going to have this on this model removed free of charge. We're also going to have the 21-inch 10-spoke polished wheels. These are included with nice floating Rolls-Royce center caps included as well. However, it is going to cost some money to have those wheel centers paint matched to the wheels at $1425 for the option. We're also going to have the illuminated grille on this model. That's going to cost you $2725 to have that optioned out and light up at night. Pretty nice touch for an iconic Rolls-Royce grille. We're also going to have around the back chrome plated visible exhaust at $5750. That is an expensive exhaust option for some chrome with no performance upgrades. I will say these are nice and shiny with the car in the showroom. They do look very nice. All right, but everybody knows on Rolls-Royce, it's what's on the inside that matters. So why don't we check out what's going on the inside? Just like the Cullinan I checked out, this has one-handed door opening, automated doors, look at that. And we've actually got that same colorway that we saw in the Cullinan. This is going to be the bespoke interior in Mandarin at $9,800 for that. We're also going to have some other stuff going on in here, such as the bespoke Rolls-Royce clock hiding in the dash over there. That's going to cost you $4725. We're also going to have contrast seat pipings at $4,800. That's for those black lines and black accents running down the seat centers. Then we're also going to have the Rolls-Royce monograms on the crest of the headrest. That'll cost you $1,700, as well as contrast black stitching throughout the interior for $2,500. We're also going to have the illuminated front fascia. So that is right where this Ghost logo is. You're going to see some nice illuminated lights to light up the model designation. Really, really nice. What a beautiful interior. Inside here, the only crime is going to be the trim. You're going to pay $3,500 to get piano black trim. From my previous experience in previous cars, I mean, maybe the quality doesn't compare to Rolls-Royce, but piano black is notorious for scratching like crazy. You would have to keep this thing pristine to avoid scratches. Around the back, we've also got some good things going on here. Let's see. Back seat is pretty nice and spacious with a 4-seat configuration and a really nice center console. Rolls-Royce monograms continue on the headrest here as well. We're also going to have the theater specification on this one, so you'll see that here with the TVs in the rear screen. Really cool option to have, but it is gonna cost you. That'll be $9,250 for the option. Excellent car. I don't think the Bentley is gonna compete with these options and interior. Of course, the suicide doors on this are amazing, the way they both open up, and that one touch of a button to close the doors, just like on the Cullinan I checked out. Let's go over some of the performance on this car. I think Bentley is gonna end up beating us in performance, but we'll check it out in a moment. So this Rolls-Royce is gonna have a 6.7 liter V12, making 563 horsepower, paired up to an 8-speed automatic transmission with all-the-time all-wheel drive. This car will do 0 to 60 in 4.3 seconds and sprint the quarter mile in 12.7 seconds. Not bad for a luxury boat. That will put most cars on the highway to shame, allowing you to execute passes in total comfort inside this thing. This car is going to be fitted with 255 section tires in the front, 285 sections in the rear. Pirelli P0 is a pretty aggressive tire for a luxury car. This car, unlike the Cullinan that I reviewed that had full air suspension, is going to have a multi-link suspension with air springs. I'm sure it will still ride beautifully, but not quite as well as the Cullinan that I checked out, and the price reflects that as well. All right, let's talk about some of the stuff that Bentley's got going on and do a little comparison. All right, now we've took the trip over to Bentley Paramus where we can check out their Flying Spur W12. Right off the bat, we're gonna go and compare the performance numbers between this and the Ghost and then go over the spec. So this is gonna have a 6.0 liter twin turbo W12 engine with an 8-speed dual clutch transmission. I'm sure this transmission probably shifts a little better with the dual clutches, and it probably gonna have some more power with those twin turbos instead of the naturally aspirated engine of the Rolls-Royce Ghost. This is also going to have all-wheel drive and make 626 horsepower more than the Rolls-Royce Ghost. It's going to do 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds and sprint down the quarter-mile track in 11.9 seconds. This is wicked fast for an absolute boat of a car. This is much faster than the Ghost that we just checked out. This is also going to have the Bentley dynamic ride control with air suspension, and it's sitting on 275 Pirelli P0s in the front and 315s in the rear. So you're getting a bigger tire size on this car, more power, more speed, and more performance. That is Bentley over Rolls-Royce for you. Now I will say the interior materials will lack in quality and the interior features will lack compared to the Rolls-Royce, but it is still an exceptional car. Let's go over the spec on this model. It is actually going to be a bit cheaper than the Ghost we just checked out. The base price on this car is $266,500, but this one here is well built at the $347,885. So what does this one have? The color on this is going to be called Arctica. It's going to be included as part of the Mulliner Range color pack at $11,015. This car is also going to have the 22-inch 10-spoke wheels painted in black for $3,090 for the option. This is also going to have the self-leveling B badges on the wheel crest, an extra $635, where that is standard on the Rolls-Royce Ghost. And this is also going to have the standard brakes in red, but I do think standard is an understatement because these brakes are massive, much bigger than the ones on the Ghost to stop this beast of a car. This car is also going to have the Flying Spur black line spec. That's going to be a $5,075 option and also include the Matrix grille. That's going to black out your headlights, black out your lower bumper, black out your hood stripe, and also black out that Matrix grille. Really, really nice. In the front, we're also going to have the illuminated Flying B. They actually call it the Bentley mascot, the Flying B mascot. I think this is kind of their answer to the Rolls-Royce Spirit of Ecstasy, which was a classic staple of Rolls-Royce design. Bentley kind of just originated with this to kind of combat them, but you are going to pay for this to light up. It's going to cost you $5,210 for the illuminated Flying B mascot there on the hood. We're also going to have the styling specification, which is going to include the front splitter, the rear diffuser, and the side skirts, all in carbon fiber. Going to be very expensive from Bentley. Going to cost you $12,865 for that package. It does look very nice though. It makes this car look much more aggressive and sportier than the Rolls-Royce Ghost that we just checked out. This car is also going to have the touring specification. That's going to be a $9,080 option and include all your technology such as your driver assist, your lane keep assist, your adaptive cruise, your night vision, and your heads-up display in the windshield. The Rolls-Royce did have some included features such as adaptive cruise. It did have night vision all included. And it had a heads-up display as well. You're going to have to pay for that though on the Bentley model. The Rolls-Royce seems to go with more material options, where the Bentley will go with technology and package options for styling. We're also going to have the panoramic sunroof on this model. That's going to be a $3,575 option. Really beautiful full glass roof, dual pane. You can see the separator right there. Very, very nice. Inside, not as special as the Rolls-Royce, but it is still an absolute occasion in here and very, very sporty. Something I do like over the Rolls-Royce is that we are going to get a nice illuminated Bentley tread plate as well as the speed designation. The speed is the highest trim of the Flying Spur. Maybe not, the fairest that I compared it to a regular Rolls-Royce Ghost, or is the black badge, which gets a little bit more bump in power, but it still would not compete with this thing here. So inside, we are going to have the Mulliner color spec interior at $2,885 option. Look at that interior, really nice and sporty. We've got some nice contrast stitching as well in white. The contrast stitch will cost you an extra $27.60, and we've also got mood lighting in here at $27.25. Very nice. For the trim in here, much better than the piano black on the Rolls-Royce Ghost. We're going to have the single finish turned dark aluminum at $4,245 for that veneer. Very, very nice, much better than the piano black on the Ghost that I despise. In here, the most bargain option we're gonna have is gonna be the heated steering wheel at $285. I mean, after spending all this money, you definitely want your hands to be warm when you're driving it in the winter. We're also going to have the deep pile overmats in this one, just like in the Mentega I checked out. Those super thick floor mats, they're going to be very expensive at $635 for floor mats throughout the car. And then we're also going to have the Nyam sound system, which is a crazy system that Bentley offers. It's proprietary just to Bentley at $9,425. The Ghost that we just checked out only included the standard audio system. No upgrades there. Really, really nice interior. I love the diamond stitching. Excellent contrast. If I were to get this car, I think this is the exact spec that I would get. Let's check out the back seats. It's going to be a little bit more primitive back here. Not going to have too much going on. I also like these black door handles, including the black line package. There's also lighting. This is the mood lighting package integrated into the back. You can see that blue right along the trim line there. Full seat controls back here, so it is very luxurious for your rear passengers, but you're not going to have those TV screens like you did in the Ghost. I don't even know if there's a package for it. It doesn't seem to be a popular option on the Bentleys, and this is a 4-seat configuration, so you're going to have a center console there with some amenities and storage as well. And of course, that tread plate continues to the back, but it's not as elegant as the one in the front that's a little bigger. All right, so now I would probably give my verdict, and I would say that there's a $60,000 price tag that separates these cars, the Ghost being more expensive. I will say with that alone, I think the Bentley is the way to go because you're getting such a luxurious interior. Granted, you don't have those rear seat theater package, but I don't know. I'm more of a car enthusiast. I like to drive the cars that I own. I wouldn't be the type to be chauffeured around. So that isn't something that I would miss. Granted, the interior on the Rolls-Royce will be a little more luxurious, but I go for driving dynamics, performance and also the styling as well. I think this car is just styled much more aggressively and much more sporty. I know I said that the Mercedes S63 I reviewed a little while ago in Manhattan was like the ultimate luxury car. It was a luxury speedboat. I'm gonna have to revise my previous statement on the S63 and say that the Flying Spur Speed is probably the ultimate luxury car that you could buy. Just the stance and the presence of this car is amazing, and the sportiness of it too is uncompromised, whereas Rolls-Royce will compromise on sportiness to give you some better materials. This car does not. This car is as sporty as it can be. It is super fast, has a nice engine under here. The nose on this thing is super long to house that W12. I think this is the ultimate performance luxury car. I would even make the argument, so I know before I said the $60,000 difference in favor of this, even if this was 60 grand more expensive, I still think this is the car to buy, especially because the Rolls-Royce didn't have the full air suspension. This has the Bentley Dynamic Ride and full air suspension. It will probably ride very similar, even though Rolls-Royces are known to be a little bit better insulated and quieter on the road. I'm sure that this will be a fair competition, even if it was more expensive than the Rolls-Royce. Let me know in the comments, which one would you take, Bentley or Rolls-Royce? Stay tuned to see some more cars next week.